I'm Lauren. I am a technical writer with Puppet Labs and been there for about 6 months. And my big project when I started was to start documenting READMEs on the Forge for Puppet Labs modules. And one of the things we realized is that there isn't actually, there wasn't a template for how to fill out READMEs. So I would find modules that had anything from a sentence that this is the Apache module, to modules that had like extremely long-winded descriptions that told you a lot about the technology they were working with, but nothing about how to use them, and then some variations in between. So I created this template that we're going to build into the Puppet module tool eventually. I think it'll probably be like the 3 release, but we'll see. Brian is on that. He has more information than I do. But we are going to put this up on the Forge. There's going to be a blog post about it. It's likely going to happen next week, so you're getting a sneak preview. And this is meant to be used with both giant modules, like Hunter just refactored Apache, and it's up on the Forge now, and this template was used in that, to small modules, like NTP module, which is really, really tiny. So the first thing that it has is, of course, the module name, the table of contents, which allows you to kind of click through things really quickly. So if you're just revisiting a module and you want to figure out what changed, you don't have to go back and read the overview. The overview is your 30-second elevator pitch on the module, what it does, what it works with. This is a really great place to state up front that it only works with Linux systems instead of on Windows, because that's always really sad when you install something and you realize it doesn't work. And then there's the description, which is where you can go into a little more detail about maybe, like for instance with Apache, we go into a little bit of detail about Apache itself and how the module interacts with it, so you kind of have an upfront idea of what you're doing. And then setup is kind of a very basic introduction to the module. This is how you get it to just basically run, nothing fancy. What it affects on the system, if it's touching files, most of the people who are using them are probably going to want to know. Any setup requirements you have, that doesn't happen very often, but there's a few times that I've run into modules that need specific setup requirements, like plugin sync. If you're running older versions, this isn't always on. And then the beginning with whatever your module is. These are the very basic steps. Sometimes it's literally just include the class. And other times it's you need to do a few tweaks before it will actually be usable on your system. And then usage is the fancy stuff. How do you configure it? If I don't want to use the defaults, how do I switch them? What are my options? Reference is something that is slightly controversial at the moment. We are going to be automating this section. And what it's doing right now is it's pulling out all of the classes and defined types and resources and listing them all out, which is really annoying if you've actually just written a module. You don't necessarily want to go back and re-put it into the README. Right now, we don't have that automated, but that is something that the Forge team is specifically working on. And yeah, then we have limitations. That's pretty straightforward. What, if anything, you've tested it with, what you think it might work with, etc. Development is how you kind of do what Adrian was talking about, building community with your module. Like, how do you want people to submit pull requests? Do you have a style guide? Do you have a blog post detailing very exactly how you would like people to interact with your module? This is the place to put it. And if you don't use a changelog, you can put up a release note section, a list of contributors if you have a module that's been worked on by a ton of people that you want to give shout outs to, or any other fancy sections. I've seen an upgrade section for if there are requirements that are new because you made it backwards and compatible for some reason that was really important. Because it better be really important if you're doing that. This was the section to stick it in. And if you aren't putting modules on the Forge, you should. It's awesome. We appreciate it. Even if you think it's not good, it probably is fine. And if you want to use this template, I am happy to distribute it. It will be up on the Forge, and I'm happy to talk about how to document your module as well so that people can use them. That's all I got.